All right, welcome back to the Short Vol Show. My name is David Lincoln. I wanted to come on and do our roll for the bullseye position, and then I want to discuss the AIMT position. But I'm going to do the roll for the bullseye position first. So if you want to just turn off after that, that's fine. I wanted to talk to you guys about this case that came up in the media a couple weeks ago. A couple of you guys were teasing me about a link to like a cam girls thing that was popped up in one of my videos, Vanny Love and all of that. I can honestly say that I have not spent a penny on cam girls. Maybe I did like 10 years ago or something, but not in the last 10 years. But there's this case, this Grant Amato case. I don't know if you saw this in Florida, where this guy, he was living. I guess he lived at home his whole life with his parents, and he basically spent his dad's life savings on a cam girl called Sylvie, who was Bulgarian, and so, which was like $200,000. I think the grand total was over $250,000. He spent his father's life savings, somehow got a loan on their house, spent that money, spent a bunch of his brother's savings just on this cam girl where like you spend, I think it was like, it's 90 credits a minute. He was spending like basically like, I think like $600 to $2,000 a day just chatting with this girl who he never really met. And so then his family finally found out about it, and the gig was up, and they sent him to this rehab for like sexual addiction or something like that. And he got out of the rehab, and they said, okay, this is the new rules for you. You don't have access to your computer, blah, 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 blah. Well, he didn't follow the rules. He contacted the girl again, so they kicked him out of the house. And the guy came back and basically like killed his whole family. So it was this tragedy to do with these cam girls, and people get this obsession, which is insane. Anyway, back to the positions. Okay, so we are short one call in UVXY, and what we're going to do is we're going to roll it. I was going to leave it and maybe let it expire worthless and then come in Monday, but I figured it will just come online and roll it. It's down to the point where the call is trading 7 cents bid at 10 cents. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy this call back, and then we're going to sell the same strike. Well, let's see. Do we want to sell the same strike, or do we want to sell the at the money strike? We're going to sell the at the money strike the next week. So that would be the 28.5 strike. We'll sell that for, let's see what it shows up. So we're going to do the roll for 133 here, which is kind of the midpoint, maybe 134. We're going to buy back our 29.5 strike, and we're going to sell the at the money strike, which is the 28.5 strike, to collect $134. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's see. All right, so I have the order queued up here, and I'm just putting it at the midpoint here, and let's do it. And I've got the order in, and we may have to go down a penny here to get filled. Now, some of you may be saying, well, and we just got filled. Some of you may be saying, well, UVXY is down. Let's try to trade this. Let's wait until it goes up again, then we'll sell something, et cetera, et cetera. I want to try to be just really mechanical here. So, if for some reason UVXY goes up next week, we will just roll out to the 28.5 strike for the next week. But there we go. We've performed the roll, and that made us some money, of course, because we sold the call for 60 cents and we bought it back for like 10 cents a couple days later. So, all right. So that's that. Now let's go to the AINT position. Now this position, AIMT, Okay, so this is a company, and that there's a conference next Friday, which will be the expiration of the front. I'm sorry, next Friday. So there will be a week left till expiration for these options, but they have a drug that I think what it does is it um, tries to help people with peanut allergies. And there's this conference next Friday, and they're going to announce at the conference whether they're recommending that this drug, I guess, get FDA approval or not. Some board is recommending, but one point I want to make to you is it really doesn't matter the exact details, and I'm not a super expert on this stock or the exact details. However, I did see an opportunity in the options, and what the opportunity was is that because they've bid up all this front month stuff, this doesn't have weekly options. So they bid up the front month stuff so much that it's at the same price as the second month stuff. So my idea was, okay, I'll buy the second month stuff and sell the first month stuff, and I'll buy these counter spreads for super cheap. So I started out buying the 15 strike. I averaged, I think I bought some for 5 cents and I bought some for 15 cents. So I averaged about 10 cents for this 15 strike. Since then, stock has moved higher by about $2 or $3. So what I have to lose is the 10 cents. So $10 each time I did the spread. So what I've done, and this position will make money if when the smoke clears and everything, if they decide that the drug is not ready to be accepted yet, or there's bad news, this position should make a lot of money because we'll land close to these strikes that I have the counter spread on. So as a stock, and so what I did was I sold some extra puts. If you see behind me here, let me make sure that you can see this. All right, let me blow this up slightly. Okay, so here's the different strikes you can see behind me here. And you can see on the 15 strike, I'm long 18 in October, and I'm short 21 in September. So my idea is I'll sell a couple extra puts just to finance this whole, to finance these calendar spreads. I'll sell some extra puts, and that way, if they just think that this drug is the best in the world, it's successful, and this thing just moves higher, being short these extra puts will finance this whole play. And if there's bad news and it goes lower, then these calendar spreads increasing in value will offset the cost of the extra put, will offset the fact that I have that risk from being short extra puts. So that's kind of the whole thing. Today, I've been able to actually leg into this 20 strike, buying the October 20 puts. Right now, the October 20 puts are 3-bid at 330, but I've been able to buy some paying 310 and then sell the set puts for $3. I sold some for $305 also. It's kind of strange because I thought the increment, you're not allowed to sell stuff in between 3 and 310, but I offered some at $305 and it got filled, so it's weird. So I've been able to buy some of these 2020 calendars paying 10 cents, some paying 5 cents, and the assessment I'm sort of making is when the smoke clears, let's say, this September's gone, the smoke clears, how much are these October puts going to be worth? Well, it really depends on how high or low the stock is, but if the stock is anywhere within this range, these 20 puts are going to be worth something, and I believe they're going to be worth more than the 10 cents that I paid for the calendar spread. So that's kind of the idea here. I've been trying to leg into some of these puts, pay $310 for the 20 puts, and then pay $310 for the AUK, and then offer the SEP at $310, and see if I can, if I can put these calendars on for free, that would be just perfect, because then there's no cost except for the commissions, and it's like a free shot. If you could, if you could play roulette and you didn't have to pay anything to put, to put chips down on one particular spot, if the chips were free, then certainly do that. It puts edge in your favor the cheaper you pay for these counter spreads, and if you can leg into them for free, that's great. And it seems like in this issue, there's more liquidity in the options than in the actual underlying stock. The underlying stock's traded 319,000 shares today. We did see more people coming in and buying this SEP 1712 put spread. Somebody came in and bought another 600 of those. They paid $1.30 for this put spread that could potentially be worth $5. And we don't know if that's because they're trying to hedge their long, or just because they think it's going lower on whatever news comes out. It's funny when you look in StockTwits, everybody on that StockTwits is super positive and looking for any little indication that it's definitely going higher. Everybody's like, it's like this groupthink thing where people have talked themselves into the fact that this is definitely going higher. People are quoting these stats like, well, that if that 90% of the time when this happens and this happens, so it's definitely going higher. But for me, I don't really subscribe to that stuff, and it's just a different philosophy maybe, but I'm accepting of the fact that I have no idea whether this is going up or down, and I'm just trying to find the best value in the options myself. So I don't have an opinion whether this is going up or down. It has been going up since I've been trading it, but that could certainly change. Anything could happen here. Like I said, I don't I want to be friends with the guys on StockTwits, but I don't necessarily share their views, which I consider to be just opinions. Nobody really knows what's going to happen here. You really got to keep that in mind, that nobody really knows what's going to happen here, just like in any other situation. And for me, I'm not the kind of person that tries to pick stocks, because I know I'm the worst stock picker in the world. So if I'm going to play that game, I'm going to lose. So I want to play games that I have at least a good chance of winning, because this is not a, I don't trade as a form of fun and amusement. It's to, to make money, to make income, that sort of thing. So anyways, there you have it. It is kind of strange not being in a live stream and having people, having that feedback from you guys right away. Some people were asking about adding me on Facebook. I did have to switch. Last year I switched my Facebook so that you can't add me directly unless you're friends with somebody who's friends with me. And the reason for that is just that I was just getting inundated with requests, and a lot of them I think were like bogus accounts, or like these lonely heart accounts where it's like some picture of a pretty girl and then it turns out it's some Nigerian scammer or something. And so I basically just have friends mostly on Facebook. I do have some friends from this industry, but most of it's just like family stuff. But if you do want me to add you, if you can just give me your name, I can try to add you from my end maybe, or I can turn off the block on there for like a day or two to add you. Anyway, so there's that. I hope you guys have a good weekend. It's been an amazing run for the VIX lately. Let's take a quick look at the term structure here. And looking very nice. That chart's not looking very nice because it's all uncentered and stuff. But essentially, there we go. Normalized. We're in 6% contango right now, which is beautiful. That is what you call a normal VIX term structure chart. And you can see that December that was seemed to be like it was this huge difference from the other months. Once this chart actually stretches out and goes back to normal, you see that's just a little dip for December. And that's kind of the way it should be from my humble point of view. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you made money on this down move in the VIX. And I will be talking to you again very shortly. One of the reasons why I did roll the position now is because I can't be around on the close today, and I don't want to mess with it too much. I feel like covering that option for around 10 cents is reasonable. I will pay that last 10 cents to not be here on the close and to roll stuff out. So we'll see what happens. It's perfectly likely that this thing can pop back up and that call will end up that we sold will end up in the money next week, but we never know. And I don't want a situation where I roll it and then the VIX goes lower and I didn't take advantage of that opportunity. So we're being very mechanical here, and we're just rolling to the next at the money call with our bullseye position. Somebody was asking if everybody doesn't have the ability to sell naked calls, and thus could we substitute naked puts? And it really doesn't work substituting naked puts. The risks associated with selling naked calls also give you the reward of this being a unique little spot to make money. And so it really requires you to sell that naked call. And I know that there are A, risks there, and B, not everybody can do that based on how much money you have in your account or what kind of account you have, et cetera, et cetera. And that is unfortunate, but that's just part of this particular game. You could sell call verticals, where the at the money call was in this example, we sold the 28.5 call. Well, you could sell the 28.5 call and then buy the 34 call against it or something like that, and then just roll. And then if the next week comes and this is the calls in the money, you could actually roll the call vertical out instead of the naked call. That would be one way of kind of replicating this position without having to have a naked call. So once again, you could sell this 28 call and buy an out of the money call against it. So you're actually short a call vertical instead of an actual call. You'll notice that the premium you're collecting here would be $1.13 as opposed to $1.30 something, and you're giving up those few extra cents to not have a naked call. So it kind of is up to you what you want to do, but I'm hoping to be able to just track this mechanical way of trading for a while and see how we do. So, continue on here with me for the journey. Please support me on Patreon. If each person gave $1, it would be awesome. I do want to get it out from behind this computer and bring my camera guy out on the road with me and do some stuff around Cape Cod with you guys. But I need I need the support on Patreon to be able to do that. So please consider giving, $5 a month is not a lot for traders. I know you guys make money. So there you go. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Probably be able to broadcast again tomorrow. If not, then Sunday, and I'll see you then. Bye.